met in the Army and broke up over a child. Years later, Tanya fell back in love with Nathaniel and proposed. But she says the rules in his religion are killing their marriage. Tanya Johnson and Nathaniel Johnson have brought their dispute for Judge Lynn Toller to resolve. Testimony in divorce court starts now.
Mrs. Johnson, you and Mr. Johnson have been married for a while, but I understand that you met 30 years ago.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you went out 30 years ago, and then you reconnected, got married in 2011, but it's not working out. Why don't you... And you say it's because of his religion, and that it's ruining everything. Why don't you explain to me what that problem is?
Your Honor, never in my life would I think that I would see and witness a black cult. They believe that they are the original true Jews.
Where are you from?
Philadelphia. City of brotherly love, John.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Explain the parameters of this religion.
Just too many rules. We weren't allowed to consummate our marriage.
What do? They tell you at the ceremony you can't have sex,
no,
or what?
We were not allowed to be married in where they perform their services, because I don't believe it's a church.
Okay.
Where they had their services, I was not allowed. We had a civil ceremony, and the person they worship, the comforter, tells them that women are unclean. You have no position of authority. They don't respect our laws. That they have their own sector, and that I'm allowed to pleasure him, but he's not allowed to pleasure me. You're not allowed to have intimate relations during the Sabbath, which is Friday at sundown to Saturday sundown.
Correct. Now hang on. But you can pleasure him during that period of time, but you can't have sexual intercourse.
No. I'm not allowed to do anything
during that time.
During the Sabbath. Don't touch, don't look, don't smell, don't kiss. Nothing.
But in general, when it's not the Sabbath, what are the rules about sex that you can pleasure him, but not the other way around?
Exactly, and I'm a very sexual being. I mean, before he joined this cult, we could do it from the ceiling. We did it from A to B. I mean, that's what attracted me to him. That's my sexual chocolate.
She just rolled it on out there. You go, Mrs. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, I'm going to ask you this. Did she get that part right about you're supposed to enjoy sex and she's not, or did she get that wrong?
In a sense, yes, and in a sense, no.
Okay, explain it to me.
In the faith that I'm in, certain acts we could not do.
Oh.
In the Bible, it talks about being lascivious.
Is she allowed to pleasure you in certain ways that you are not allowed to pleasure her?
This is true.
Is this a Bible-based religion, or
yes,
what?
It is.
I don't know what Bible their religion, but the God that I serve said that the marriage bed cannot be defiled. Anything you want to do to your husband, as long as you're married within the eyes of God, which we weren't, because it was a civil ceremony.
Well, what if you accidentally give her pleasure? Is that a sin?
Then I'm committing a sin.
Seriously?
Yes. So she said, the way she said it is not the way it is. We have certain laws that come straight from the Bible. Certain things we don't do, as we're supposed to be a holy people. And well, she said the comforter, we don't worship the comforter.
Well, who is the comforter?
Comforter, he is one of the heads of our church.
He's like a minister?
He's like a minister. But he guides us, gives us more understanding on the scriptures. And he's not only the one there, he have other leaders there that sits with him. And we go over scriptures. We try to get the understanding of them.
So do you have to, and I know I'm stuck on this sex issue, but it's just killing me. Do you have to have the comforter's specific permission to perform particular sexual acts?
No. No. We don't go to him for that.
You don't go to...
No, you don't.
But you know what's cool and what's not cool.
What's cool and what's not cool.
They have to give 20%. If you don't give 20%, they called us at home one night because he didn't tithe. You're not allowed to
When did they
attend
do that, babe? When did they do that? You gotta explain that one to me. I don't remember that one. Explain that one.
It wasn't the comforter that called you, but someone from your institution called and asked why you weren't in service.
I understand that they are not allowed to celebrate most holidays.
They don't celebrate any holidays, and I am African American, if it's not obvious, and we fellowship. We fellowship. My family, we're from the South. We fellowship. We get together. My mother's a single parent of 3 children. It brings her pleasure, although I don't know why. Every holiday, for us to get together, our children, the children's children, and all of us fit in that one little house, and we fellowship. We don't worship. We don't read the Bible. We fellowship. We love each other.
Just have fun. You get together and enjoy.
That's not allowed.
Mr. Johnson, is that accurate?
True either.
Well,
We
Mr.
do
Johnson,
celebrate
tell me what is true.
We call them high holy days.
Okay, what are the
in
high
Bible.
holy days?
Say like Passover. You celebrate Easter, we celebrate Passover.
Okay.
You celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, okay. So,
And
are you
we
Jewish?
Pray, and we... Yeah.
Well, now, Judaism is a mainstream religion, Ms. Johnson. I mean, the sex part I've never heard about in Judaism before. But
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
But how does it differ?
Like I said, the God that I serve said nothing done between a man and a wife can be unholy. You
just really want some better sex, don't you? You really just, you want your brother to deliver.
Yes.
She wants all that role playing and all. Okay, come get it.
Everyone has their vice.
You know what I mean?
Everyone has their vice, and if that's my way, and I like to do it with my husband. Oh, but he didn't tell you they're allowed to have more than one wife, and it's not a civil union. Anybody you have sexual intercourse with, that's your wife. If you were to go home to glory, which I say when you pass away,
right?
You're not allowed to attend funerals. They were told that his father forbid, he went home to glory. And his brothers stood outside and were telling members if they attended, they would be considered unclean and they could not worship for 7 days. See,
the reason that goes on, because one, when members that are not of immediate family members, and they come to the funeral it's just because that's the dead, and anything we touch is dead, you're unclean until like 7 days. Until that evening of that other day.
Well, I mean, I go to funerals all the time. I don't touch no dead people.
Yeah. What was going on is certain members, they say if you come in, you can't go to worship on the Sabbath because you'll be unclean.
I got you. When you were dating the first time, she got pregnant. You had a son. Were you in the church that you're in now then?
No.
Okay.
I was, what, 19 and 20 years old? 19 and 20 years old,
just kids.
Tell her the religion.
I was in another religion then.
Tell her the religion.
What was the other religion you were in? Huh?
Mormon.
You were Mormon?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, but who told you not to marry her?
None of them told me not to marry her. Like I said, when I seen the birth certificate that she had of him, my name was not on it. And the pictures. I looked at both of them. They look like him. They didn't look like me.
They look like him who?
The father of the child.
Oh, another guy you know? Yeah,
that she used to talk about.
Oh.
That they wasn't dealing with each other.
Is there any question as to the paternity of the child?
No.
None whatsoever?
No.
Well, I guess, let me ask you, Ms. Johnson, the religion is a deal breaker for you then?
Yes. Lord, yes.
He didn't follow you to D.C., did he?
No.
And you're glad about that?
No, I still love Mr. Johnson. It's just that I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a loving, affectionate person. I like to be held, caressed, and I don't think any outside person should tell us when and where and how we should love one another.
Well, let me ask you this. They don't tell you you can't hold and caress your wife, right?
No, they don't.
It's also, there are certain positions we're not allowed to take.
Is that true?
Sure. As far as, teaching on the podium, it's not allowed.
Teaching on a podium?
Yeah, as far as, teaching the word on the podium. Because on reason,
wait a minute, I thought we were talking about sex.
She went and said something else. Just now, she was talking about some other positions we have.
No, not positions in the church. She's talking about positions in bed.
Oh.
Isn't that right?
Yes.
Well, let's dig ourselves out of this hole here and just go on to positions in the church. What positions can a woman not hold in the church? Let's talk about that.
As far as performing the priest's rights, they can't hold that position.
Yeah.
Because they have what they call the flower. We call it flower.
Flower?
Flower.
What does it mean?
When you have your period.
Oh.
And when you're unclean.
Backstroking down the river, I don't want to be in. Ms. Johnson, I want you to tell me why you think this man owes you $1,860.
We had a lease agreement in Philadelphia.
Yeah?
And I had to move due to a promotion on my job. I'm sorry, I'm allergic to being broke. I could not live in Philadelphia with no money.
Right.
The part that he left out is how they would have festivities at his place of worship. And I wasn't allowed to attend because I'm not a member. We get our income tax refund. I'm thinking, wow, great time to take the honeymoon we never got. He takes $500 out to pay for a raffle with this institution for a chance to win $1,500. I was like, we got better odds at the casino.
Judge Lynn Toller's ruling next. Divorce Court. Judge Lynn Toller's ruling right now.
I understand what you're saying about the lottery ticket. If that's true, doesn't make a lot of economic sense, but that's not what I'm asking about now. What I want to know is why you're telling me that he owes you $2,404. Explain that to me.
I left Philadelphia.
Right.
In June.
Yes.
I could not be removed from the lease. So therefore, I'm still legally obligated to pay that.
Okay.
I applied for another job which required a security clearance. You cannot have any outstanding debts more than 90 days old.
Do you have the lease or some other documentation that shows me the numbers?
Yes, I do.
Now, Mr. Johnson, you do not deny that she is on the lease, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Are you still living in that residence?
No, Your Honor.
Did you leave as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And how much was that rent per month?
$936.
$936. My understanding here, based on what you told me, is that there has been a judgment of agreement made between you, him, and your mother with respect to the amount owed on the remainder of the lease, correct?
Yes.
Why should he pay it alone when the judgment is against all three of you?
When I left Philadelphia, I still left some of my belongings there. However, Mr. Johnson obtained another residence with my help. I paid his first month's rent. I paid for the moving truck. I brought up friends because no one from the organization could help him. So I had to go to the hood, get Boo Boo and Pac-Man to pack up the apartment and move him and put my stuff in
Mr. Johnson, did she have to pay first month's rent, get Boo Boo and Ray Ray to come down there and move you?
She paid part. She paid the security and I paid the other part of the rent.
For you, but not for her.
Not for her.
But not for her.
Yeah, not for her.
Yeah. All righty then. Listen, let me tell you something. You've got a judgment here made against you by a third party. It's a judgment by agreement, but it's a judgment nevertheless. I give you all the money from him, then How do I know you're going to pay that? This is a third-party obligation. I can't do that. This matter has been resolved vis-a-vis you and that third party. So, and I can't presume his failure to pay when you've already failed to pay. Do you see what I'm saying?
I understand.
So the judgment must remain as it is. There will be no recovery, and good luck to both of you.
Tonya and Nathaniel have settled their lease and are happily living apart from each other. Post